Debate tonight. Shehzad Poonawalla, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me this evening, Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the ORF. Harshvardhan Tripathi, senior journalist. With me in the studio is Vivek Silas, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, supports the Aam Aadmi Party, also on the show. But my first question goes to Sanjay Jha, author, political commentator, suspended, not so suspended Congress leader, also joining the show. Sanjay Jha, Congress giving lectures on national security, on Agniveer, clearly shows that what should be national priority, what should be a national duty, is actually becoming a butt of politics. Every morning to get up and do politics on Agniveers. Elections are over. The fact of the matter is Agniveer is a policy. Many things have been explained time and again, and the Prime Minister has sent a message. Don't do this. Balakot strikes, you wanted proof. Agniveer, you have your own statement. When your own member of parliament today, Manish Tiwari, has written an op-ed calling it modernization and reforms. But every statement comes with, oh, we don't quite agree, we are distancing ourselves. And on Channi, where you should actually be taking a position, you distance yourself and think your job is done. Just what are the priorities of the party called Congress Party, which clearly is a party that has got this country its independence? Why is it not in sync with demands of national security is the question that people of India are asking tonight.
A very valid question, Navika. Let me tell you that where it comes to national sovereignty, territorial integrity, India's internal security, the border fencing, border security, these are not ever the prerogative or the monopoly of just a ruling party in government, in this case, a coalition government. It is, by the way, a responsibility for every citizen of this country. And I think the MPs in parliament, including those in the ruling party and the opposition, are equally responsible because governments change. I mean, as you know, that governments change, but mostly foreign policy and issues on ensuring that India's external boundaries are safe, that its citizens are safe. On these issues, normally there should not be any debate, or at least there should be no questioning of the intent or why questions are asked to begin with. You know, the real concern, Navika, is this, that the BJP over the last 10 years has tried to kind of give this political impression that, you know, through their hyper muscular nationalism and this braggadocio of this 56 inch ki chhati speech, that we are the only ones who know how to protect India's borders. That is really where the problem lies. I think let's look at it in a very dispassionate way. You and I, everybody who's watching your very popular program, my friends on the panel, are all stakeholders in India's future. So if we question the government, there's nothing wrong. And by the way, we can disagree with the government. That too is absolutely kosher and appropriate because ultimately the ways may be different, but the objective is the same. I want to give just two examples before the BJP spokesperson comes in.
You can have different views, no question about it. You can be critical of the government, no question about it. But will you have different views on what Charanjit Singh Channi said about Amritpal? Do you have different views on that? Do you think Khalistan supporters and secessionists should also be supported in this country? And yesterday it was only Channi, today there are other people who have come in from the Congress Party and supported Channi. So I want to ask you, even on this, there can be two views?
Okay, let me answer you, Navika. I'm glad you asked me this follow-up question. Let me start with, I'll address that, but let me also start with Agniveer because you mentioned it in the introduction. Where Agniveer is concerned, now we are all civilians. I mean, there may be some defense experts and so on, but I have heard many retired and present people working in the army or part of a military who have been critical of that scheme. One of them being General Bakshi himself, who's been a very strong defender or proponent of this government's policies. So there can be a difference of opinion. I just want to tell the BJP 2 points here, Navika, before we move on. Stop calling the opposition anti-national. Stop doing that. You have to explain to the people right now, Navika, why have 48 people, Jawans of India, soldiers of India died in the last 32 months in Jammu and Kashmir? Why are 200 people dead in Manipur, 60,000 displaced, and the Prime Minister hasn't even gone to the state? There are fundamental problems. We are asking you these questions.
Okay.
It's your job to address it without indulging in cheap political rhetoric.
All right. Of course, there are fundamental problems, and it's not like in the UPA years or the years before that there were no fundamental problems. But
Sure.
Please respond, Shehzad Poonawalla.
Navika, first of all, thank you for inviting me on a day when we are commemorating the 25th year of the Kargil Vijay Diwas. And Sanjay is right, I don't want to pick a bone with him today. He said we must all be on the same fence. But Sanjay, when you and I both were in the Congress, you were not suspended. 2004 to 2009, Kargil Vijay Diwas was not commemorated until Rajeev Chandrasekhar pointed it out and exposed the government, and then under pressure they did it. And at that time, the MP of Congress stood up and said, Navika, I quote, it was an NDA war. It was an NDA war. Secondly, Sanjay Bhai, National War Memorial, 60 years, not done. OROP, 40 years, not done. Bulletproof jackets, 10 years, not done. Rafale, politics played, modernization of armed forces was not done. LAC was kept underdeveloped. A.K. Antony's famous speech, you remember that in Parliament. Forget all of that. Today I'm asking you a different question. You said don't call us anti-national. I'm happy to accept that offer. I will not. I'm nobody to judge you. But when, on a day, on the eve of the 25th anniversary, Channi gets up and says Amritpal Singh ke baare mein, he eulogizes him. And at that time, not a single person condemns him, but in fact you abuse and attack whom? Beyant Singh's grandson. And then the Congress MPs, when it is said to be a personal view, Digvijay Singh, Manikam Tagore, whose bite was played on this channel, apart from that you have seen Raja Wading, all of them come out and they say that, Arey, uska right hai bolne ka. At that time. And then today what happens? Priyanka Vadra, today without condemning Hamas, she gives a blanket support to everything that is done by them. And she condemns the same Israel, and Sushant Sareen will tell you that this Israel with whom we did not have ties for so many years was the pivot of support during the Kargil war. But forget that. There is also Samajwadi Party sitting here. बाकी सब चीज रहने दीजिए. ये सुनिए.
अगर याकूब मेमन की जमानत हो गई होती तो शायद ये केस और अच्छा होता. इस तरफ चीजें चल रही हैं बहुत.
Abu Azmi bats for Yaqub Memon. Then you have Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav and Lalu Prasad Yadav saying that सिमी पर प्रतिबंध क्यों लगा. I am saying, आपको हमारे से 10 शिकायत है ना, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक पे प्रूफ मांगते हो और याकूब मासूम दिखता है, बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक पर प्रूफ मांगते हो और आपको हमास जो है वो अच्छा लगता है. मैं आज आपसे कहता हूं, कंडेम चन्नी, टेल मी व्हाट एक्शन विल बी टेकन ऑन चन्नी, टेल मी व्हाट एक्शन विल बी टेकन ऑन अबू आजमी, एंड टेल मी व्हाई कारगिल वॉर वाज नॉट कमेमोरेटेड फॉर 5 इयर्स. इसका स्पेसिफिक जवाब होना चाहिए नाविका, इधर उधर बात नहीं होनी चाहिए.
इसका मैं
संजय झा प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड.
आपको बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक जवाब दे रहा हूं. आपको याद होगा कि संसद के अंदर आप ही के पार्टी के रमेश बिधूरी ने हमारे देश के 200 मिलियन नागरिकों का कैसे अपमान किया था. व्हाट डू यू टेक दैट टू बी?